Hey, what's up, guys? This is Netta with Inner Peace with Netta, and on this video, I'm excited to be explaining these three terms I'm always talking about in other videos, and that's the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the higher self. So, I know y'all hear me speak say these terms a lot, so I just wanted to break them down so you guys can have a better understanding. So, you may hear other people talking about, reprogram your subconscious mind or unlearn and reprogram. I say the same thing, right? And basically, in our minds, in our heads, because our brains are complex, right? We have the conscious mind. Okay, so the conscious mind is more masculine. That's the director, the decision maker, it's the goal setter. It is driving the subconscious mind. It directs the subconscious mind, should I say. And it's, the I am, the human, the social self. Okay? That's reason and logic, among some other things. So it's the go getter. Now, the subconscious mind, which is also the inner self, and I'm not talking about the inner being, no, I'm not talking about the higher self. I'm talking about the inner self, right? It's another term for subconscious. So, the subconscious mind, that's where your habits and your programming come from, okay? And this is how, things in society, this is how people get programmed. Our families program us, things in society. We all believe in things that's not really ours, and then we go through this unprogramming, unlearning everything that does not resonate with our soul and our spirit. So this is where they, purging and unlearning and reprogramming your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind is aware of everything on the external. So whatever it sees that it feels like it is attractive to the conscious mind, or that the conscious mind would like, then it will, focus on that. It will take, basically be programmed. It will alert you, your conscious mind, like, hey, you see that, you see that. And then, your subconscious mind likes rituals. Like, that's where your habits come from. So if you've been through some stuff in your life and you have to, unlearn a lot, you have to shift that form of consciousness to, and it's repetitive. You have to, everything is repetitive in this world. Like, you want a new habit, you gotta be repetitive, reinforce the positive, right? And to break out the old habit, reinforce the new habit to break out the old habits, right? And you have to be consistent and persistent, because your subconscious mind, has been programmed to think otherwise. So, say low self-esteem. If you've been your whole life, you've been programmed to have low self-esteem, then when it's time for you to program to have, high self-esteem and some confidence, and to love yourself and have self-respect and understand your self-worth and knowing that it's an innate gift, your subconscious mind is like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're going to have to reinforce it with mantras, affirmations, different prayers, and doing things. Now that's when you have to act and you have to do things, right? To shift it, because then you have your ego saying, looking, remember I tell you your ego is a defense mechanism, and it's going to be like, hey, no, the low self-esteem, like, it's just going to drag you back. So your subconscious mind, that's something that you have to continuously train and train and train. And, it's always looking out at the external. So you have to feed yourself healthy food. mentally, physically, and spiritually. I always talking about the eat method. You are what you eat. You know, your energy, your actions, and your thoughts. And your thoughts and your actions, all of that is energy, which is vibration. So, if you are programmed to have negative thoughts, fearful thoughts, thoughts of low self-esteem, you don't have no confidence, that's a low vibration. And so now you're on a low vibration and low frequency because of thoughts in your subconscious mind. Just like society programs humans, and not all the time of, some just saying that you're not good enough, you need this type of phone, you need this type of house, you need this type of spouse, your kids should look a certain way, you need this much money, you need to have this type of career, you need to be living this type of life, yeah. So, as we're growing up in our subconscious mind, it's just like, okay, so this is what my subconscious mind is programmed as. So it's our responsibility to unlearn and then, reprogram the things that will feed our soul. Okay? So this is where the higher self kicks in. Because your higher self is about evolving your consciousness individually and as a whole, as humankind, as whole of humanity. Okay, so when we, as an individual, we have our ego consciousness. And when you start going to your higher self, that's where that spiritual enlightenment is. So in this lifetime, we can attain spiritual enlightenment. Why? Because we already have it. It's not something, our ego will make us think that it's a goal that we have to strive to. And that's not what it is. It's something that we have to tap into. And I love Dr. Wayne Dyer. He always says you have to lose your mind to come to your senses, right? And in order to be present into the higher self, well, obviously I just said it, you need to be present. So, but you need to be present to all your senses. When you're present, you can feel, like you're aware, mind, body, spirit, like you can feel it in all your senses. You'll be able to smell, your sight, your hearing is acute, your smell, to touch. A lot of us is not present, very unconscious, okay, and not present. And this is where people ruminate in their thoughts and things like that and have your ego running your mind. This is why meditation is good. So, like I said, now we're on to higher self. Okay, so your higher self wants your mind to evolve. Your higher self is biased and is not is biased and is not prejudiced. Yeah, it's not biased or prejudiced, right? I had to look at my notes real quick. So your higher self is not biased or prejudiced. So, okay, to explain this a little better, so your higher self is basically your divine mind. If you believe in Christ consciousness, when I say Christ consciousness, right? And I know people automatically think, okay, Jesus Christ. Yes, because Christ had the consciousness of the higher mind. Jesus and Buddha had the divine mind, the higher consciousness. They lived that. They lived, breathed, everything. They evolved that consciousness. Yes, they had the conscious and the subconscious. They had their own individual ego consciousness, but they evolved into Christ consciousness. And this is where the master teaches all of us to follow, right? So, or any other spiritual teachings to where they're telling you to evolve through compassion and love, and it all starts within ourselves. And heaven and hell is in your mind. So when you're on your higher self, right, you can have your heaven on earth. It's all a mental, it's all a consciousness, should I say. So your higher self is your divine mind, and your divine mind wants you to fulfill your purpose, whatever you came here for, okay? Whatever you came here to do to fulfill your purpose, it is for your highest good and the highest good of all. We all came here for a purpose, okay? It's basically, my perspective is, and this is what I believe, we all reincarnate because we're all energy. Energy never dies, so where's everybody energy going? So energy never dies. We live, we reincarnate. Yeah, we live every day, but we die once and then we come back, right? And we have soul contracts. We have a contract to fulfill. That's why our parents is our parents, our siblings is our siblings, and whoever else is in our life. Because life does not work against you. It may feel like it sometimes, but it's working for you. But it all depends on your consciousness, because we go through things, right, to wake us up to the truth. Okay? The true religion, to be honest, is within. Yes, if you can break down, certain religious beliefs and study, multiple of them, and everything is about going within and tapping into that divine consciousness within. And that's how you awaken that inner wisdom and that power within you. And I was actually having a conversation with someone yesterday, a family member, and they was just like, I don't think I believe in, God, divine, whatever. Like, I don't understand how, like, basically atrocities happen in this world, and nothing is being done. And I'm just like, okay, so from what we've been taught, it's like we're supposed to be suffering and things of that nature, and that there's a power out, an external force that's going to save you, when it's not that. It's all a consciousness that's within us, okay? And it's here. What we have to do is, and I'm still, we'll forever be on our journey, but I'm currently, like, really being pushed and on that path to mastery, and spiritual enlightenment. And it's been a little tough, because my subconscious mind now is like throwing stuff at me, but I just have to use my positive reinforcement and just use the tools that I know, and then learn new stuff, and just be focused on my breath. So everything is not, the law of attraction, which is one of the universal laws, and it happens every day, but also other practical stuff as just breathing, So back to what I was saying. So, my family member was like, I don't believe in this, I'm starting not to believe. And I was just like, no, I understand, but it's all a consciousness. And I had to explain this to him, like, it's, and I said this to him, I was like, yo, how many times out the day are you present? He's like, maybe like twice. And he even told me, he was like, yo, You ever hear that chatter in your mind that tells you like negative stuff and cracks jokes about people and all this other stuff? And I was like, oh yeah, your ego. And he was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. So when you quiet that mind, you'll be able to attach to your divine mind. And that's why. And I was like, we're all supposed to tap in so that we are here to assist one another. We're not here just to be floating. A lot of people just be floating, and I was myself included at one point. But, sometimes we lose track. We're here to remember. And this is why the higher self is here to evolve our consciousness, okay? So if you don't know your purpose and stuff right now, that's fine. If you're watching this video now, then there's something that is resonating with you, to awaken within you, to go within. So everything is within. Everything that happens in this world, all the atrocities, everything good, everything is because of the human, any human issue that starts within. It's all internal. We're supposed to live inside out, not outside in. But we're taught, okay, everything outside of us, nothing within. No, we have to go within. So when people do reckless stuff to other people, it has everything to do with it. When you curse somebody out, or if you're cursing somebody out because they made you mad, you're supposed to respond and check yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot express how you feel, because I always say this. We're not in this world to be like, oh, no, just be nice. No. You be compassionate and you show kindness, but we are responsible for our actions and how we respond. Law of cause and effect, that's true karma. Okay? Karma is not bad. You doing dirty stuff, you'll get it back. Hey, you might not. So maybe not in this lifetime, but but then once we reach a certain consciousness, then we're off the karma well as well. But that's a whole different video. But yeah, it's this, everything is within. All this consciousness stuff, consciousness, subconsciousness, your higher self, everything is within. You won't find anything outside yourself. Yes, books, but your soul will have you resonate with certain things. So everything that's going on in the world right now, it's because it is a mass consciousness. So this is why a lot of people is waking up. This is why we have this system breaking down and all these isms, racism, sexism, just, prejudice, racism, just any form of hate. Everything is being like thrown up. I just feel like everything is being thrown up in the sky, right? And everything is just about to come down slow. Slow. Right? Everything is just going to come down. So everything needs to be thrown up so you can see it. Right? And as the, mass consciousness, it's like we have to shift out of the matrix that we are in. This whole paradigm, it does not work for this new generation. So that means my generation and the generation after mine. Maybe some people before. And even people in other, in generations earlier, they was the rebels. Because they had a shift in consciousness. So we're all like, Earth has its own consciousness. Because, okay, so say if we talk about just consciousness, period. Consciousness is everywhere. So when we talk about the conscious self, that's just I am. That's the individual conscious self of the whole consciousness. which would be the divine, because we're all parts of the divine. All the divine is within us, and that's how we're all one. So I just wanted to break that down because it can be a little difficult to understand, but it's the conscious self, subconscious mind, and higher self. And then consciousness, period, is everywhere. Okay? Plants has consciousness. Animals has consciousness. That's why when nature is being destroyed, it's like we're destroying ourselves because we're all connected. Everything was made in divine order. That's why we're not supposed to be destroying ourselves, and we're not supposed to be destroying each other, because that energy just does nothing but boomerangs back. Boomerangs back. So now this consciousness is just like I said, being thrown up in the air, and we're getting a new one. And whatever work, I guess, we're gonna keep, and whatever doesn't work, it won't work. And we're not gonna keep, and it's gonna be we're gonna come to a balance as well, because it's a lot of imbalance. So it's nothing, no man versus women and all different types of stuff, because the higher self don't care about that. It's about your soul and your spirit and how we can support one another. And that's what the consciousness is about. That's what Christ consciousness is about. It is not about no hate. It ain't about nobody's sexuality, nobody's color, culture. It don't have nothing to do with that. It has, what did you come here for? How is your consciousness going to evolve from when you last came here? And how is it uplifting the whole humanity consciousness? Point blank, period. So, that's the video for today. I love you guys. Please like and thumbs up. Same thing, right? Like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow me on IG at Inner Peace with Netta. Also, I am starting lives on IG where I will be talking about different spiritual topics. So, of course, I'm going to still be on YouTube, but if y'all want to see lives, come lives on Tuesdays, right? I'm going to start it next week, so I will have the time and, the specific time. So in the next video, I will have that for y'all, and I will put everything in the subscription box, but follow me at Inner Peace with Netta. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Peace.